The film ends with a poor girl from the suburbs named Su Yinjin, a beautiful, quiet and polite girl. This year, she graduated from junior high school to enroll in a privileged secondary school to complete her studies. Her parents had been saving money for a long time so that she could attend her favorite school, even though they were suffering from bankruptcy. On her first day at school, she seemed different from the rest of the students, as she was very simple and somewhat confused. She saw a student driving his motorcycle at breakneck speed, whose wheels stepped in a patch of water and accidentally splashed Su Yinjin. The young man is called Qin Zhang, and he comes from a wealthy family and is considered as simple as his classmates at school. She scolded him angrily, and the moment she cooled down, she would have been hit by a beast had it not been for the intervention of Chang, who caught the ball with his hand. Instead of apologizing to Yunjin for smearing her with water, he tells her to be careful when she walks again. Her discontent continued until it became clear that they were studying in the same class as she was sitting exactly in front of his seat. Yunjin has a close friend named Mo Yua and may become friends because they are from the same working class, and Yua is then a great support to her so that she can belong to her school surroundings. Yunjin didn't get a good score in mathematics, unlike Chang, who got an excellent grade. She had difficulty understanding mathematics, so she wanted to go to the bathroom with a book in her hand. Behind her was Shane, who wondered about the secret of the books she was hiding. She thought her going to the bathroom was just an excuse to cheat, so he stole the book from her and dropped her sanitary pad from it. Then she left the class immediately, very embarrassed. Shane was feeling guilty and sorry for insulting her. He tried to fix the situation the next day, but she ignored him after several unsuccessful attempts to please her. In the end, he threw the book on her table, and after she opened the book, she found it containing all the math answers that she was unable to answer, along with an explanation of the rules in detail. After class, she was on the roof. Lee suddenly came up to her and grabbed her ear. She didn't like the behavior and tried to leave, but he stopped her and told her he wanted to help her with math. She refused his offer at first, but she remembered that she had to prove to the professor her thin grades, so she accepted his offer after careful thought. From there, they always meet on the roof of a building. After a while, she began to feel that company with him was enjoyable, despite her sometimes annoying behavior. In the end, she was able to prove her grades to the professor, and as soon as she passed the exam, she scored 85, making her happy. Shane was also happy for her. Since that time, their relationship has been getting stronger day by day, until she had to leave the school for a long time. So Chang remained lonely and miserable to leave her until the day he fell asleep in the lecture because he lost the desire to continue the lesson. She suddenly woke up to find someone in Yunjin's seat. She was unhappy with any other student taking her seat, but it turned out to be Yua, a close friend of Yunjin's. She told him that she had returned from her village and was now resting in her room. She ran out to her place of residence and approached the door and called her out loud. She opened the door, sadness overcame her features. He asked her why she left for so long, but she did not answer his question, and in her right hand was a black ribbon suggesting her father's death. They were then able to reach the last period of the school year, where everyone attended the graduation ceremony. Shang started watching her while she was sitting with her friend, so he approached her and asked her to dance with him at his farewell party. Then they moved to a place near the school and he expressed his love for her, so she kissed him. The kiss was a sign of her acceptance, but in reality it was just a farewell kiss to leave with tears in her eyes. In her heart, she knew that she was not worthy of his love because of a class difference between their families. A year later, she became a university student, and also a temporary worker on campus to support her tuition fees. There she meets a boy named Juan, and they become close and spend most of their time together, until the day Chang and his little sister came to campus. Chang and Yunji were acting strange because they had not seen each other for so long. Juan interrupts them and introduces himself as Yunjin's lover, to which Chang replies that he is also her lover, but she tells him that he is only from two close friends of hers. Chang then takes them to a temple where they write their wishes on a piece of paper. After she wanted to see what Chang had written, she hurriedly covered his paper. One let Chang's sister goodbye a drink, but just as he was about to return, he saw Chang and Yunjin having a very serious conversation. Suddenly, unexpectedly, Chang immediately kisses the girl with a low seriousness. So one saw it from a distance. Chang's sister comes to comfort him, but the relationship between Yunjin and Juan is strained and they don't welcome each other, even though they work together in a library. Because of this, she went to Chang to vent her anger. She told her that he suffered a lot after his graduation because it was hard to find her. She also thought that when she kissed him at the graduation ceremony, it meant that their love would last, At the end of her college years, she stopped working part-time, where her mother told her to return to the village to ask her permission to marry again. So Yunjin agreed to her mother's request. When she returned to the village, Shang was there. She saw him sitting near her house. He told her that he accompanied his mother who was working there, as it turned out that his mother had bought a factory in the area. They spent some time making rabbit lanterns, and later he invited her to live in Beijing after she graduated. She nodded slowly assented. As she neared her graduation, she began sending job applications to many companies in Beijing in order to be close to Chang, but all her efforts were in vain, as no company in Beijing called her for an interview, and she got a recommendation for a company located in Shanghai in which she applied to was accepted. A few days later, Shane tells her that he has set up a company in Beijing and meet employees, as she tells him that she has got a job in Shanghai. So he gets angry with her. She felt guilty and decided to go to Beijing by train, but Chen called her and told her he was on his way to Shanghai to see her. So they agreed to meet on the way, and she got off at the next train station and waited for his arrival. And after each trip, they started hugging each other. The two arrived in Beijing, so he decided to take her to buy shoes and dresses to attend his sister's engagement party in the evening. When Yunjin arrives at the party, she's shocked that Cheng's sister's fiancé is Wan. During a conversation that took place between them, she advised him to take care of his future wife. Days after she returns to her retreat at work, her stepfather comes to her office and tells her that her mother has been very ill. It also turns out that her father was working in a company owned by the Cheng family, as her father had a dozen of the company's money to cover her mother's marital expenses. That's why her stepfather asked her to help return the company's money. She calls her friends to borrow money, but unfortunately none of her friends can help her. So, with no other choice, she calls Wan for help, and he agrees to lend her the money. When Cheng warns of her predicament, he comes to her apartment and gives her some money, but she refuses and tells him that she borrowed some money from Wan. Angrily, he asks her why she hadn't told him instead of someone else. Then he left her apartment and headed to Wan's house, where he threw the money she had brought in his face, telling him to just mind his own business. That Mai went out to the pub with his friends to calm his nerves. Yunjin begged him to come home, but he refused, instead having another girl to make her jealous. Because of his problem, their relationship became strained again and we separated. He then went to America to meet his mother's request. Over a year has passed since he left. She has never been able to forget him, so she decided to go to the temple they used to go to, and she saw there the wish record of the visitors. So she searched paper after paper until she recognized the handwriting of Ching, who wrote his wish that he wanted them to live together. She starts crying, remembering her past with She. She finally decided to leave for New York to catch up with her boyfriend. After her arrival, she began to ask people about the priest until she arrived in front of a New York hotel, where she could see him from a close distance as he was walking towards his car. But when she was about to let it in, she saw a pregnant woman walking with him and got into the car again. When she saw this, she couldn't help but cry and choose to walk away. When Shane's car started to move, he accidentally caught a glimpse of her and left wondering if this girl was a Yunjin or just a girl who looked like her. She decided to get out of the car to go after her, and unfortunately he couldn't find her. Yunjin was standing on top of a school building and remembering the times they spent together. She grabbed her hair from behind after finding her and asked if someone was looking for him in New York. She was tired and did not want to respond. Therefore, he started showing a video clip from his phone showing her that this pregnant woman is an old friend of his and that her husband is one of his acquaintances. And when she saw him, he was only helping her. She started crying, so he hugged her.